It's the NFL on CBS, live from Glendale, Arizona, University of Phoenix Stadium, where today the Arizona Cardinals play host to the Kansas City Chiefs. And welcome to the broadcast booth, everyone. Ian Eagle along with Solomon Wilcox. The future is now for the Arizona Cardinals. Matt Leinart, the rookie, gets the start. His first NFL start today, replacing two-time MVP Kurt Warner. Solomon, anticipation here in Arizona very high.
Yeah, and Matt Leinart knows that the expectations are high. He wants to bring a new attitude and provide a spark to this offense. You were to ask me what are the keys to this ball game today. Yes, Matt Leinart has to come out and play well. You have to take the training wheels off of him. Allow him to go out and play. He's used to being successful with the weapons he has around him, like Edgerrin James. You know they're going to be able to move the ball. They have to get edge to the second level. Then on defense, you have to stop Larry Johnson in the run game and then create turnovers on the defensive side of the ball.
And they go against a hot quarterback today, Damon Huard, the backup to Trent Green. Green is still out with a concussion. What are the keys from the Kansas City perspective?
Well, anytime you go on the road, if you're Kansas City, the ball has to go through Larry Johnson. Allow him to power the offense, get the ball in the end zone. So you have to run the ball. And then Damon Huard, he has to become a manager of the offense. He cannot turn the ball over. When you get in trouble, check down to LJ or get the ball in the hands of Tony Gonzalez. For the Chiefs on defense, it starts with pressuring the rookie quarterback. Pressure leads to picks, and they have an excellent veteran secondary.
Herman Edwards' team coming off a 41-0 blowout over San Francisco. They led that game 24-0 at halftime. 5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 4 turnovers in the win. And Dennis Green, these are tough times right now in Arizona. Very high expectations. And last week, a 32-10 loss in Atlanta. We're underway. Arizona has won the toss. J.J. Arrington on the return. Arrington, Fitzgerald, and Johnson, an impressive trio. Here's Leinart looking to throw on first down on a dump for James. And James out near midfield. Give him a gain of 9 for Arizona. First play from scrimmage. Defensively, how about Matt Leinart having to face that foursome in his first NFL start? Leinart, handoff. James fighting for the first down. So the running game has been an issue. They go out and sign Edgerrin James to a 4-year, $30 million contract, and he's not putting up the numbers he's accustomed to.
And when I talked to Edgerrin James, he said it is not totally and completely the fault of the offensive line. He said in our zone blocking, defenses have been very aggressive coming downhill at us. And so what we have to do is we have to provide some play action passing. And then we also have to have the mobile quarterback use his ability on some reverse bootlegs to take advantage of the overly aggressive defense that you're going to see from the Chiefs.
Leinart checks to a running play, and it's James spilled forward for a pickup of 3. Jared Allen will be given credit on the stop. Well, for Matt Leinart, the storied collegiate career at USC, he did win 2 national championships, 37-2 record as a starter. Of course, the Heisman Trophy, but slipped to number 10 in the draft. Last week, got a taste of NFL action, but this, his first NFL start. Handoff. Edgerrin James, and nothing doing on the outside. Derek Johnson, great pursuit by the young linebacker, and it's a loss of 3 on the play.
Yeah, and you see Jared Allen, that right defensive end, coming downhill, causing the ball to bounce by Edgerrin James. So when you get penetration from that defensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs, you can go a long way in disrupting the ability to run the football for the Arizona Cardinals.
We'll call it a 3rd and 10. Lenny Walls checks in as a 5th defensive back in the nickel. Obafemi Ayanbadejo, the fullback, is in as well for Arizona. Play clock winding down, operating out of the shotgun. Here comes the rush. Leinart handles it, looking long. Leinart airs it out, and caught! Touchdown! Anquan Boldin, 49 yards. Arizona strikes first, and Leinart with a big pass.
We told you they had to take the training wheels off. This is a kid who's used to success, and if you're going to challenge him, he knew they would blitz him. He says, if you're going to blitz him, you're going to go deep. I got to get the ball to my receivers down the field. Anquan Boldin ends up getting deep on Lenny Walls for a touchdown. They expected the blitz. He kept his poise and composure and delivered the perfect strike to Anquan Boldin.
Matt Leinart Welcome to the NFL. 5 plays, 60 yards. The extra point from Neil Rackers. And this crowd is charged up early at University of Phoenix Stadium. Matt Leinart in his first NFL start. Touchdown on the board. 2-0, Arizona in front of Kansas City. First possession of the day, and it's Leinart to Bolden on a 49-yard bomb on 3rd and long. Beating Lenny Walls in coverage, and the Cardinals up 7-0. Dante Hall, the return man for Kansas City. Here's Hall, stood up at the 21-yard line by A.J. 101 yards on the ground. His 15th 100-yard game of his young career. Double tight end set to open up for Kansas City. Gonzalez and Dunn on a 1st and 10. Hewitt faked the handoff. Hewitt rolls and throws sideline at a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown last week. A new franchise record. Hewitt on the quick toss. He makes the connection to Sammy Parker, but Wilson over there along with the likes of Eric Green.
And already you see 2 consecutive passes from Damon Hewitt. You know, Kansas City going on the road, they want to be able to run the ball with Larry Johnson, but when you get down 7-0, no sense of panic, no sense of changing your game plan, but you understand that you may have to put the ball in the air. Trent Green has been coaching up Damon Hewitt and back in the building, and nice to see that he's healthy once again.
Green, that severe concussion week 1 against Cincinnati. No timetable on his return. Johnson is caught. Adrian Wilson.
Well, they told us he's part linebacker. He's a safety and part corner. You see him, he's blitzing the run play. Coming off the edge, comes in untouched off the right side to make the tackle on Larry Johnson in the backfield. And now they create a 3rd long situation. It's one of those deals. Either you get a screen or a draw to Larry Johnson, or look for them to possibly want to get the ball to Tony Gonzalez.
Wilson told us every week the defensive coaches are putting him in different positions to make plays. He loves the challenge. On 3rd down, safety valve, Ronnie Cruz. And the fullback right at the 1st down marker. We'll see where they spot it. Looks like he will have enough.
Oh, this has been a problem for the Arizona Cardinals. They get you in 3rd down situation, but yet they can't come up with the stop. It was Adrian Wilson who missed on the tackle. He gets that tackle. Kansas City Chiefs are going to have to punt the football. I know Dennis Green is regretting not getting the ball back for his offense in this situation.
So a new set of downs for Kansas City to work with. They are just across their own 45. Arizona with a 7-0 lead. First touchdown pass the Chiefs have given up this season. Handoff. Johnson fumbles it. And a fight for the loose ball. Arizona claims they've got it. Johnson never got it cleanly. And the Cardinals recover.
Now you had 3 players for the Kansas City Chiefs near this ball. Let's watch the handoff. So I think it's the responsibility of Larry Johnson to be able to get that ball. Chike O'Keefer is at the bottom of the pile with 3 players for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's O'Keefer who comes up with it.
So the veteran Chike O'Keefer on the recovery. Larry Johnson coughs it up. And Arizona takes over on a 1st and 10 in Kansas City territory. Line of scrimmage, the 41. Give is to James. Edgerrin James waits, shows patience, and turns it into a positive run. Tumba Ali making the stop. It's an 11-yard gain for James.
Well, you have a 7-man front. The ball's going to come off this side, but watch the over pursuit by the defense, and Edgerrin James bounces it back. But it's after the long pass from Leinart that forces you to get that 7-man front, and you have to play the pass now. It leaves more room for Edgerrin James to run at the line of scrimmage.
A log jam that James was looking at, and he waited it out for an 11-yard pickup. Leinart on a 1st and 10 at the 30. Arizona on the move again. Swing pass. Fitzgerald creating after the catch. Lunging forward and very close to 1st down yardage. 9 or 10, depending upon where they place the football.
See, when Arizona has a quarterback who's bound and determined to stare down the barrel and complete passes when you're blitzing them, like what we're seeing from Matt Leinart, I think they're at a tremendous advantage because they have receivers in Bowden and Fitzgerald that can create yards after the catch. And Kurt Warner, he's a veteran guy, but it's too many turnovers. That's what Denny Green told us. That's why you get the switch from Warner to Matt Leinart.
It is a first down for Arizona at the 20. And Leinart, handoff. Edgerrin James, a little shake and bake move, spun down. Sammy Knight, the 10-year veteran, holds James to no gain. Matt Leinart has looked poised. He has looked very comfortable. And Dennis Green, when we asked him about Leinart, whether or not his teammates will rally around him, what did Denny Green tell us?
Well, he said, hey, Leinart hasn't proven that he can play yet, but all of the other guys have proven that they can't play. And I thought that was an outstanding comment because what he said is that, you know what, all the other guys shouldn't be worried about Matt Leinart. They've got to be worried about themselves.
And he's basically saying Leinart is the least of our worries right now. We've got issues everywhere. Here's Leinart in the pocket, throws to Brian Johnson. And a first down for the Cardinals. First and goal inside the 10.
And what Matt Leinart has given them, he's given them the poise that they need at the quarterback position. And watch, you get a 4-man rush. But see, he sits in the pocket and see the mobility. It's the kind of movement you need just to buy a little bit more time to create a really good window to get the ball to Brian Johnson. And so when Edgerrin James talked about Matt Leinart, he said his mobility is going to be tremendous advantage to this offense.
Leinart, first and goal. Arizona looking to add to its lead. Handoff. James to the outside. And forced out of bounds after picking up a couple.
I think what you're also going to get a little bit later in the game as the Kansas City Chiefs start creeping further and further toward the line of scrimmage, looking to stop Edgerrin James. They're going to come with some play action. So these safeties, Wesley and Knight, have to be very careful. When you get inside the red zone, you see how the Cardinals have done so far in 12 trips, 6 touchdowns. That's not bad, but they've turned the ball over some down here as well, Lion.
On a second and goal for Arizona. Leinart 4 for 4. 79 yards so far. And off again to James, trying to get tough inside yards and only picks up 1. Jared Allen combining with James Reed to bring him down. It'll set up third and goal.
Yeah, this is where, you know, the tight end, you got to be able to get the ball to your big guy, Leonard Pope. He's an option down here, but they would love to be able to run it in. But when you have a 3-wide receiver set, it really makes it difficult to run the ball around the goal line.
Third and goal. Coming up on 6 minutes to play in this first quarter. 3 receivers set for the Cardinals. 7th play of the drive. Leinart looking for the score. He's got it! Touchdown, Fitzgerald! Second touchdown of the day for Matt Leinart. And Arizona builds on its lead.
Well, what you're going to get is Larry Fitzgerald just finding the seam underneath in between the linebackers. And what about the poise of Matt Leinart? Finding Fitzgerald, he steps right across the goal line for a touchdown.
The protection has been there so far for Matt Leinart. He's taken advantage of it. Neil Rackers, the extra point. 14-0, the Cardinals leading it. Matt Leinart can do no wrong so far. Entering action here, the Kansas City Chiefs had gone 10 straight quarters without allowing a touchdown. 11 if you include overtime. They have given up 2 touchdowns to the Cardinals, and we still have 6:12 to play in the first quarter. 14-0. Arizona in front. Neil Rackers on the kickoff. Dante Hall will take a knee. And we'll step aside. We'll see if Kansas City can get something going on the offensive end. NFL starting debut for Matt Leinart. 63,000 plus at University of Phoenix Stadium. They have liked what they've seen so far. Arizona 14, Kansas City nothing. 6:12 to play in the first quarter. Chiefs football with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Handoff to Larry Johnson. Johnson makes a cut and carries for 5 on first down. Good block from Brian Waters, the left guard, to help string Johnson loose.
Well, the patience of the offensive coordinator, Mike Solari, for the Kansas City Chiefs. His patience is going to be tested because down 14-0, you come in wanting to run. Larry Johnson already fumbled once in this ball game, but when you're down 14 points, you got to score in a hurry. So how much longer they're going to be able to stay with this running game? I think you try to get him on track as opposed to putting the game in the hands of Damon Hewitt.
This is his 16th career start and a chance to go over 2,000 yards over those 16 starts with a performance here today. Dante Hall able to catch and carry for a first down. Carlos Dansby making the stop. Well, Damon Hewitt, he's been in this league now 10 years. Hewitt, in his career, now 6-2 as a starter. Not much action in New England after starting his career in Miami. Told us he never knew if he would get another opportunity, and in a perfect world, he said Trent Green would never have gotten injured that way, but he's going to try to take advantage of the chance he's been given.
Trent Green had 80 consecutive starts, so you don't expect Trent to go down.
Hewitt, play fake. Hewitt throwing to a spot, and it's on time to Kennison. Well executed, working that left sideline for a 16-yard pickup and working against Eric Green.
Well, you can see the timing between Damon Hewitt and Eddie Kennison. See, comes out of the break, and there's the ball. Doesn't have to wait long for it, and what an excellent throw with great accuracy from Damon Hewitt. The bye week did him some good after the loss to the Denver Broncos, because I think the receivers and the quarterback, Damon Hewitt, have all been able to establish the kind of rhythm you just saw in that play.
Both quarterbacks a perfect 5 for 5 throwing so far. Now 6 for 6 for Hewitt. Eddie Kennison caught from behind by Roll. Able to grab the ankles and limit Kennison to a 2-yard gain.
Well, right now, Kansas City understands they have to mount a drive. You cannot allow this Arizona Cardinal team to get away from you. And this is just that smoke screen. You just flip it out to the receiver. Anytime that cornerback enters a roll, you catch him in that off position in terms of his coverage. Flip the ball out to the receiver, see if he can slip a tackle and create a big gain for you.
There is certainly more of a comfort level, though, you're right, between Hewitt and his offensive teammates, because there's that air of mystery when your starting quarterback goes down. They didn't know what Hewitt could do. Here's Eddie Kennison. Kennison breaking a tackle. And off the trickery, only a 2-yard gain. Robert Griffith stuck with the play. The veteran safety now in his 13th year in the NFL.
Down 14-0. Mike Solari pulling out all the stops, trying to catch this defense for Arizona off balance. Kennison coming around on that wide receiver reverse. I think it's an excellent play call. It slows down the defense when they're very aggressive attacking. And I think Herman Edwards understands it. We got to slow them down. Right now they're playing very fast for the Cardinals on the defensive side of the ball.
Many of these fans coming to their feet on a 3rd and 7 now for Kansas City out near midfield. Here comes Arizona on the rush. And Hewitt is sacked. Adrian Wilson cannot be denied.
He comes off the right side. This is the second time he's done that, and he's going to come right here. See, and they're going to let him come. And right now, Damon Hewitt, his blind side's not protected. He never sees him, and Larry Johnson tries to block him, but he overpowers Larry Johnson to be able to get the sack. And that's where Johnson has to improve. Be able to play without the ball in his hand to protect your quarterback in the passing game.
Wilson living up to his reputation, the best blitzing safety in the National Football League. Dustin Colquitt, the punt. Troy Walters, it does take a Kansas City roll. And it'll settle in right around the 7.5-yard line. We'll step aside. More. A brand new $455 million state-of-the-art stadium here in Glendale, Arizona. And the Cardinals with a 14-0 lead over Kansas City, but they open up with a 1st and 10 at the 8. Leinart, rush coming. Unloads to James. And he'll pick up 4 yards on first down. Derek Johnson making the stop. Matt Leinart 6 for 6. Edgerrin James with the Indianapolis Colts. All he knew was winning. James, as consistent as anyone, comes to the Cardinals, and the numbers just have not been there. It's been a frustrating time, but he's handled it well. Dennis Green said Edgerrin still is positive every day in practice. He believes that the Cardinals will get this turned around. And it's James stumbling as he did stay on his feet, but Greg Wesley able to slow him down, give him a gain of a yard. We'll see where they spot it.
I was very much impressed when I spoke with Edgerrin James. He really did take the onus off the offensive line and talked about how it's a complete team effort, that we have to start doing more play action passes to slow down the defense because they're playing them very aggressive. But he said he didn't come to Arizona for the money. He said that's what everyone thinks. He said I really came because I saw the complement of weapons. I know that Denny Green is a winner as a coach. He's won in this league, and I wanted a chance, a new start, to start something new here in Arizona. Saw this new stadium and thought that this was a great opportunity.
On 3rd and 5, a quick hitter. And Leinart cannot make the connection with Brian Johnson. First incompletion for either team. And Arizona will punt.
Well, Matt Leinart, he understands. He hurried to throw just a little bit because he had Johnson open. The ball fell to his feet, but he's done a good job of managing the offense so far. I think he can't dial it back. You cannot rest on a 14-point lead because this Kansas City Chiefs football team, they can hurt you, be it the punt return with Dante Hall or on offense. They can score quickly.
Kansas City should have excellent field position. The punt from Scott Player. Hall will return it from the 41. And Hall out near the 50. And A.J. Shabel making that stop on special teams. Kansas City on offense when we come back. Find out why modeling is about to become Miami's most dangerous profession in a new episode of Monday's most watched show, CSI Miami. Tomorrow at 10, 9 Central on CBS. Arizona 14, Kansas City nothing. 49 seconds left in this opening quarter. Kansas City Chiefs a 41-0 drubbing over San Francisco last week. Winning on the road, though, that's been a different issue for the Chiefs over the last 5 seasons. 16 and 24 on the road. Handoff. And it's Johnson able to push that pile out across midfield. Good block from Casey Wigman, the center. That's a 5-yard gain. Larry Johnson, we talked to Herman Edwards about Johnson. Herman told us, look, I told him before the season started, we're going to give you the ball a lot. He said, I don't think he believed me. And now he finally does.
He said that Larry Johnson is just now getting used to being the guy that from high school, college, and even when he first came to the Chiefs with Priest Holmes there, he said he was always used to being the backup guy. He said now he knows what it feels like to be the #1 guy.
And a target on his back as well every game. Heward, that's a drop ball by Parker. Well thrown by Heward, and Sammy Parker in his 3rd year from Oregon. A lot of potential because he can stretch the field, but you got to haul it in.
Yeah, the protection was there, and just an excellent throw from Damon Heward. And, you know, these Kansas City Chiefs, they've been looking for a player to be consistent, opposite of Eddie Kennison at the wide receiver position. Parker, they're asking him to do that, but you could see the coaches on the sideline wincing when Parker dropped the ball.
Dime package now for Arizona. This is a 3rd and 5 winding down in the first quarter. Heward packs the ball and throws complete to Dante Hall, and a flag down. That's going to be the first penalty with just 4 seconds left in this first quarter. And we'll hear from Terry McCauley.
Defense, number 54. Phillies decline. First down.
Illegal contact, the call against Gerald Hayes. Penalty declined because Kansas City got the first down. And a 7-yard pickup. That'll do it for this first quarter. Well, Arizona, bang, bang on offense. 2 touchdowns from Matt Leinart, 1 to Bolden, the other to Fitzgerald. They lead Kansas City 14-0 after 1.
Why don't we have a wireless network like the Kumar Swamis?
Hello, neighbor.
Show-offs.
Kansas City Chiefs under Herman Edwards came in allowing just 10.7 points per game. Now they gave up 14 in the first quarter. And they're in a 2-touchdown hole against Arizona as we start play here in the second quarter. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcox, the rest of our CBS crew. University of Phoenix Stadium. And a 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. from the 40. Hewitt on a toss. Chris Wilson, tight end, angles out of bounds. That's an 11-yard gain. Gerald Hayes chasing him down. And Chris Wilson able to create after the catch for KC.
They're able to catch the defense off balance a little bit. They slip Chris Wilson over to the side. It's a tight end screen, and look at the blocking out front. And that's where Wilson has to be able to make the tackle. So often you hear coaches talk about tackling. It's not the catch that beats you, it's the yards after the catch. If you make the tackle, then you force the team to have to punt the football.
1st and 10 inside the 30. Kansas City looking for their first points of the day. Quick throw, Parker. And sniffed out, Eric Green. No gain on the pass from Hewitt to Parker.
See, whenever you get that wide receiver screen over to that side, they want to catch Eric Green playing off, hoping that Green will miss the tackle and Parker can create additional yards. But excellent tackle in the open field by Eric Green.
There had been some questions about that cornerback spot. They've tried Green. They've tried David Macklin, the veteran. Matt Ware, who was inactive. They've tried him as well. But for now, this is still Green's job at that right cornerback spot. On 2nd and 10. Hewitt gets rid of it. It's Wilson again. And once again, the Arizona defense able to swarm. Wilson a 2-yard gain. Orlando Huff, the linebacker, helping out on the tight end.
Yeah, and it's Green's ability to make the tackle. It's good protection up front by the offensive line. But you make this tackle and there's no additional yards. And that's a play for no gain. And so whenever you can come out and make tackles in the open field, your defense is going to play better. Now let's see if the Cardinals can get a stop on 3rd down. This is the area where they have to improve the most.
Aaron Francisco is in as the nickelback. This is the 7th play of the drive for Kansas City on a 3rd and 8. And Hewitt will use a timeout. Flag came down on the far side.
Number 88. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And the penalty called before the timeout. So the timeout doesn't stick. The 5-yard penalty does.
Yeah, you don't want to take that loss because it moves you further back in terms of your ability to try to kick a field goal on 4th down. And Hewitt has to get him out of the huddle up to the line of scrimmage. He was trying to make an audible check at the line, simply ran out of time.
Now they're looking at a 50-yard field goal if they get no yardage here on 3rd and long. Play fake. Hewitt, protection is there. Hewitt makes the connection to Larry Johnson. Johnson breaks a tackle. And Johnson brought down in a pile at the 27-yard line. 5-yard gain. Green and Francisco collaborating.
Smart play by Damon Hewitt. All he wanted to do there was try to gain some of the yards back that he had lost on the penalty by getting the ball over to Larry Johnson, allowing him to work the ball up the football field, creates a manageable field goal attempt.
Lawrence Tynes on for a 45-yard attempt. Trying to get Kansas City on the board. Dustin Colquitt, the punter, will hold it. From 45 yards away, Tynes. He's got the leg strength. And he's got it. 14-3. Arizona in front. So the Chiefs settle for a field goal. We are early 2nd quarter. The NFL's first Scottish-born player, Lawrence Tynes, gets Kansas City on the board. 14-3. Arizona leads it. Tynes will now kick it off for the Chiefs. J.J. Arrington, the deep man. Arrington moving forward and from the 5. Arrington bounces off one would-be tackler and finally bottled up as he comes up shy of the 30. Right now, it's the desert edition of the wisdom of Solomon.
Well, let's take a look at the first career start for 4 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Troy Aikman had 2 interceptions in a loss to the Saints. Warren Moon, he completed less than half his passes, was sacked 5 times in a loss to the Raiders. Steve Young sacked 6 times, but did win against Detroit. And our very own Dan Marino had over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns in a win over Buffalo. I don't know that Dan Marino was ever a rookie, but Matt Leinart, he's off to a Dan Marino-like start in this game today.
And Dan had a tremendous head of hair as well.
Phenomenal arm as well.
Here's Leinart on 1st down. Anquan Bolden. And Bolden able to cross the 35 In the NFL Today pregame show, Dan Marino talked about how excited he was to see Matt Leinart in his NFL starting debut. Well, Dan, I think Matt's giving you his money's worth right now.
Yeah, and he's getting it done against a blitzing defense, so he's poised under pressure, still able to find the open receiver. His ability to stay poised and get the ball down the field has affected a positive change in this offense for the Arizona Cardinals.
Leinart trying to win in his NFL starting debut. He's got a 14-3 lead. Another quick throw, and it's Troy Walters. So they're picking their spots for Leinart. A lot of underneath routes right now and letting him build some rhythm here in the first half. Leinart now 8 of 9, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And we told you one of the keys to the games. At the start, we said that they had to take the training wheels off the rookie. I don't think that you can play it careful. When you have the kind of weapons he has around him on this offense, then you can allow him to make plays. He comes in with a successful track record that allows you to have some confidence in him coming into today's game.
James in the backfield on first down. Play action. Leinart feeling pressure and dumped by Holly. Rookie against rookie. Penn State against USC. Tumba Holly with the sack.
Well, you're going to see him coming right off here. Watch the speed of Tumba Holly. Now, he's coming from that blind side. Matt Leinart never sees him, but he does senses the pressure, and you saw the mobility begin to take effect. It's just the speed of Holly being able to get around that right corner, beating Oliver Ross to come in and get the sack on the young quarterback. I'm just going to tell you this. It's not easy to do what you see Matt Leinart doing in his first career start. I think he's showing excellent poise and excellent presence in the pocket.
Double tight end set now on a 2nd and 20. Leinart, and he's off the mark, looking for Leonard Pope, the big rookie tight end, 6'8", tallest player on the Cardinals roster. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. KB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer have the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
Well, anytime you're facing 3rd and 20, it's not much in the playbook that allows you to do it. I think this is where you have to make sure that you just manage it. Get the ball to one of your receivers quickly and allow them to create yards after the catch to pick up the first down. He has 2 of the best receivers at doing that.
Leinart will work out of the gun. Checking off with the play clock winding down. Here's Leinart. Rush coming. Leinart. And it's incomplete. Safety valve was Marcel Schiff. Even if he caught it, there was little damage to be done. And Arizona will punt.
Well, he understood the blitz was coming, and he just tried to get rid of it. I think he did the right thing, making sure he got rid of the ball, not taking the sack. Sometimes, you know, you don't get the perfect play called. He was checking to a play that would help him get rid of it. Doesn't appear that Marcel Schiff was ready to receive the throw.
Former Pro Bowler Scott Player punting. And 2-time Pro Bowler Dante Hall returning. Flag on the play. Big punt. Hall from the 15. Hall looking to turn it upfield. Out along the sideline. Hall stays in bounds. Dante Hall out of bounds, out at midfield. Penalty marker. 2 of them. 1 on each side of the field. So 2 flags. 1 was thrown right as Player was punting, and the other thrown during Hall's return for KC.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 22. That penalty's declined. Holding receiving team during the kick. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down. Timeout.
So Herman Edwards, instead of having that excellent field position out at the 50, they'll back it up. Damon Heward will operate when we come back. A tournament. Brand new facility, very impressive. On first down, Larry Johnson squeezing through a hole. And Johnson able to cross the 10-yard line. Gerald Hayes making the stop. 4.5, 5-yard gain. Well, $455 million, retractable roof, natural grass, retractable field so that this can be a multi-use facility. Has a bit of a modern look to it, futuristic.
Oh, it's beautiful and a wonderful, marvelous stadium. And I think we may have the best seat in the house.
Oh, right on the 50, smack dab in the middle, handoff. And it's Johnson to try to push the pile out across the 15. And a 4-yard gain for Larry Johnson. Quick injury update on the Arizona side. Larry Fitzgerald, right hamstring. His return is questionable. You can see he's got a wrap around that right leg.
And I think that really does change the game, because you can really say Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Boldin, they're both like a #1 receiver.
Yep.
You can't double either guy, and now with Fitzgerald out, maybe you might see the Chiefs begin to double up a little bit more on Anquan Boldin and go one-on-one on everyone else so that they can blitz the rookie quarterback and still be effective.
On a 3rd and 2, Chiefs trying to quiet this crowd down. Empty backfield. Heward on the quick throw to Parker, and a first down for the Chiefs. 6 yards as Parker and Green exchange pleasantries. And a new set of downs for Kansas City to work with.
Now, see, you have a young ball club with the Arizona Cardinals, and I think when you get a 14-point lead, sometimes, you know, it's one of those rare moments and rare situations that they don't find themselves in very often, but they have to be able to understand how to put teams away. You can't give them any momentum. You have to be able to create turnovers, and you cannot allow Kansas City to continue to convert on 3rd down.
So far, Larry Johnson, 5 carries, just 18 yards. Heward. Again, Dante Hall, this time finding a crease. And Hall is spun down just short of the 30-yard line. Give him a gain of about 6 or 7, depending upon the spot. Calvin Pace with the stop. Don't miss a play, stat, or story with CBS Sports Line's Sunday Game Center. Follow every game with lightning-fast scoring and play the hottest head-to-head trivia game on the web, Trivia Tower. It's all free at CBSSportsLine.com. Call it a 2nd and 3. Damon Heward is 13 of 14, 84 yards. Johnson the carry, and Johnson again in a crowd trying to run off tackle Orlando Huff with the bring down. 1-yard gain. The comparison so far, both QBs looking very sharp.
Look at the quarterback rating for both guys, and you know, they're managing the offense, not turning it over. They're exceptional on 3rd down. But I think it's amazing the way the young quarterback Matt Leinart has played with a great deal of poise in this football game. If he can maintain that, he will provide the spark that the Cardinals need on offense.
Now a 3rd and 2. They converted on their last 3rd down with a quick hitter to Sammy Parker. Heward knocked down. Heward again looking underneath, and Chike O'Keefer getting that arm up and forcing Kansas City to punt.
Well, it's the play you need on 3rd down. You need the stop, but it's amazing because you're looking at 3rd and 2, and yet you're throwing the football. I got to believe that Larry Johnson, for me, is a better option. That's what happens when you have to put the ball in the air on 3rd and 2. You got to be able to power it behind that offensive line with the big back of Larry Johnson.
Dustin Colquitt will punt it. Troy Walters waiting at his own 22-yard line for Arizona. Colquitt, the son of former NFL punter Craig Colquitt. And here's Walters. Getting to the outside, Kansas City able to get down the field in a hurry. Chris Griffin leading the charge on special teams. A 10-yard return, 44-yard punt. Matt Leinart and the Arizona Cardinals with a 14-3 lead on Kansas City. The NFL on CBS will continue in a moment.
Joe, you're glad we got the Durango, right?
In Glendale, Arizona, 14-3, Cardinals leading the Chiefs. Arizona got off to the quick start. 2 touchdown passes from Leinart. We are yet to see the Kansas City offense get going. Larry Johnson limited to 6 carries, 19 yards. Cardinals take over a 1st and 10 at their own 35. Edgerrin James out to the perimeter, and no gain on the play. Kavika Mitchell, James Reed combining.
Yeah, excuse me, Ian. Neither team has been very good at running the football. And right now, Arizona, at least they're getting Edgerrin James back to the line of scrimmage. So often this year, he'd been getting hit in the backfield. Now they have to work on getting Edge to the 2nd level. That's where he can do his damage. And Denny Green knows it. We've got to get guys blocked, seal the perimeter, allow Edgerrin James to keep the ball away from that Kansas City Chiefs offense. James
comes in with the highest percentage of a team's rushing yards this season. 97% of Arizona's rushing yards have come from Edgerrin James. Leinart is dumped. Jared Allen. We talked to Allen yesterday and asked him about Matt Leinart. We said, what do you like? What don't you like? He said, I don't like his mouth.
He talks a lot. He's going to come here. Now watch Edgerrin James. He's trying to pick up a defensive end. And Jared Allen understands a back isn't going to keep me off. The quarterback blows right by Edgerrin James to come away with the sack. So, you know, Jared Allen understands when he has a smaller guy, a running back alone, cannot keep Jared Allen from picking up the sack.
Allen saying that Leinart talks a lot more than he would as a rookie. Yes, he was a proven winner in college, but this is another level. And another sack for Kansas City. Their third of the day. Ron Edwards in on that one for the Chiefs front four.
Anytime you can get it done with a four-man rush, you know you're doing some good. Let's see if the linebackers come. Okay, now you're going to just crowd the line of scrimmage, and then you confuse it. See, only four guys, but they were able to fake it, and they're not able to pick up the four down linemen. You have 5 offensive linemen getting beat by 4 down linemen for the Kansas City Chiefs after the Chiefs showed they were blitzing, but didn't come.
And a block. Block punt. Rolling out of bounds. Bernard Pollard coming down to block it. And things are turning here in the second quarter. Big, big play for the Kansas City special teams.
We told you couldn't nurse that lead after scoring 4 points, and now he comes up with the block. Excellent field position now for the Kansas City Chiefs, knocking at the door, trying to shorten this lead by the Arizona Cardinals. Now you allow the Chiefs to gain some momentum and claw their way back into this ball game.
Pollard, a second-round draft pick, rookie out of Purdue, known as a physical defensive back, making the play on special teams and setting up a 1st and goal for KC. Johnson and Cruz in the backfield, a 2 tight end set with Gonzalez and Dunn. On 1st down, handoff, it's Johnson. And Johnson slowed down. Bertrand Berry finishes him off for Arizona. And a loss of a couple on the play.
And the game plan against Larry Johnson, for most defenses, they understand he's a big back who wants to run downhill. You have to make him move on a lateral plane towards the sideline and not allow him to use his power. You get him going laterally, it diminishes the power that Larry Johnson brings to the table.
2nd and goal from the 9. Down to 3:45 remaining in this first half. Heward sends Kennison in motion. Fake the handoff. Heward has protection. Throws incomplete. Looking for Ronnie Cruz, the fullback, but Gerald Hayes, the middle linebacker, was a blanket. KC wanted a flag.
And now it brings up a 3rd and goal. As Arizona looks for the stop, they better do a good job of looking for Tony Gonzalez. Down inside the red zone, he has been a presence throughout the 10 years he's been with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Gonzalez needs 1 more touchdown to set a new Chiefs record for receiving touchdowns in a career. Spread the field on a 3rd and goal. Rush coming. Flags down. Heward underneath, breaking a tackle. Johnson is in for the touchdown. But that penalty marker could be offsides.
Offside. Defense.
On the defense.
Number 56. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
Touchdown stands. Heward to Johnson, and the Chiefs are right back in it.
Watch number 58 in the middle of your screen, Carlos Dansby. He has the opportunity to make the tackle. Get your head on the front side. Bring your feet with you. He's able to break that tackle and lunge in for a touchdown. It is the 2nd effort from Larry Johnson that provides the touchdown for Kansas City.
So Johnson doesn't get the rushing touchdown as Tynes adds the extra point, but he gets it through the air. And he does the damage with his legs, breaking a tackle. 14-10, Cardinals.
Coach, wouldn't you like to lose that suit and tie?
So after the block punt by Pollard, Kansas City is able to cash in with a Larry Johnson 9-yard touchdown reception, and it's 14-10 Arizona. 3:26 to go. First half, Lawrence Tynes will kick it off to J.J. Arrington for the Cardinals. Arrington ranging over from the 2. Arrington looking for an opening, and nothing doing. Crosses the 25. Jared Page makes the stop on special teams. Special teams for Kansas City that set the table.
Yeah, you get the block punt, and typically 80% of the time, if you can block a punt and score a touchdown, which is what you get from Kansas City Chiefs, you usually win your football games. And so it is the special teams and then the play by Larry Johnson that allows Kansas City to get back into the ball game.
Arizona 14-10. First down for the Cardinals from their own 26. Give is to James. Able to cut through that hole. They slow him down after a gain of 4. Mitchell and Allen will be given credit for the stop. Log on to NFL.com throughout the week and watch all the highlights and best plays from around the league. It's all on NFL.com. 2nd and 6 now for Arizona. They came in tied for 30th in the league with just over 70 yards rushing per game. So far on the ground, just 21 yards. James on a cutback, stays on his feet, and the white jerseys keep swarming. Whistle never blew. And Edgerrin James, second, third effort. It's a 2-yard gain. That's a whole lot of work for 2 yards.
Well, I can tell you what, this dog's got a lot of fight in him. Edgerrin James stacked up at the line of scrimmage as he picks his way. He's hit by at least 5, maybe 6 players from the Kansas City Chiefs defense, but he's still alive. And it is the job of the running back, as Edgerrin James has told me, to avoid negative yards. He's able to break a number of tackles there to avoid the possibility of having a loss on the play.
Playing in his 101st career NFL game. Leinart's pass is knocked down by Holly. The rookie from Penn State makes another play. We hit the 2-minute warning in the second quarter.
Guys, just thought you might want to know, sales aren't up, they're down. Ooh. Yes, sir.
Want a new job? We've got the most. CareerBuilder.com. A better job awaits.
Introducing the new Sicilian lasagna pizza from Pizza Hut. Hearty beef topping and a blend of mozzarella, creamy ricotta, and Parmesan cheese, all on a seasoned crust. It's just $10.99. Right now for just $5 more at any medium one-topping pizza.
We stand together. X-Men.
X-Men: The Last Stand is the #1 DVD in America.
We're in.
X-Men: The Last Stand on the #1 DVD today.
Good news, no more hassles with Wi-Fi hotspots.
The punt from Scott Player, rolling inside the 30-yard line. And Player avoiding getting blocked on back-to-back punt attempts, but only a 35-yard boot. So Kansas City will take over for the final minute 45 of this first half.
Yes, take a look at that punt. Something they're doing well. They got it blocked up. And they was also able to avoid the return from Dante Hall. Kansas City Chiefs ranked #1 in the league in punt return, came into this game just a little bit over 14 yards per punt return. So we know Dante Hall can change the game with one return of a punt.
Kansas City 1-2. Coming off their first shutout win since beating Arizona back in December of 2002. And off Larry Johnson, staying on his feet, able to scoot forward, and a penalty marker on the play. 3-yard gain for Johnson. Holding.
Holding. Offense. Number 54. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Coming up, Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer have the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Back it up to the 23-yard line for KC. Arizona, no penalties charged against them. Kansas City with 3. Johnson, 7 carries, 16 yards. Had 1,750 yards last year on a stop-and-go by Johnson. And he lost the football. Cardinals have it. Second fumble of the day. Eric Green on the recovery.
Just as Kansas City Chiefs get the momentum in this game after the block punt and the touchdown, they put the ball on the ground again. Second fumble on the day by Larry Johnson. It lets them back in it. Now they're having a discussion as to whether or not they believe it was a fumble.
Well, they can't challenge it. It would be a booth review. We'll take a look at it. Oh, he hits the ground. There's no ball there.
Oh, he hit the ground. It's a point of when did the ball come out?
The previous play will be reviewed.
So a review right now whether or not Larry Johnson fumbled the football. Remember, the call on the field was that it was a fumble. We're going to take a look at as many angles as we've got.
Now watch, his rear end hits the ground. Let's see if the ball's out at that point. He's down. I'm not so sure if the ball comes out before he hits the ground. Let's take a look at this angle. I know when he rolls over, he no longer has the ball, but he's on the ground well before then. It may be inconclusive.
The ruling on the field stands. First down, Arizona.
Well, remember, they would have had to have evidence that it wasn't a fumble in order to overturn it.
Absolutely. I'm not so sure that we saw anything that shows us enough to overturn the call on the field. I know when he rolls over, he no longer has the football. See, right now he's down, and there is the ball.
It'll go down as a fumble. And Kansas City had an opportunity, at the very least, whether they got points or not, to use up the rest of the clock in this first half and keep Arizona's offense on the sideline.
And what did Larry Johnson tell us? He said more and more, particularly without Trent Green, he feels more like a marked man, facing 8- and 9-man fronts. And that's what Herman Edwards talked about, said, hey, he's got to be patient with himself. He's going to continue to grow. He's going to continue to get better. But it starts with being able to hold on to the football.
He also said, look, I know the good backs find a way to work through that, and it might be a new sensation for him, but defensive coordinators are scheming against him every single week. Arizona takes over on first down. Edgerrin James. And he's had a tough time getting out to that second level. Ty Law helping in run support. 5-yard gain for James. We're down to 1:19 and counting left in this first half.
So often, each and every week, when we talk with defensive coordinators and we talk to defensive players in the league, they say we have to stop the run. So in the early going, it's not going to be easy to run the football, whether you're Larry Johnson or Edgerrin James, but you have to have the patience enough to stick with it.
On a 2nd and 5, Leinart, short drop. And might have been hit as he threw it. He was looking for Leonard Pope, and that ball just fluttered off the fingertips.
Well, they're starting to get some pressure onto Matt Leinart. And he's 0 for his last 4 pass attempts and has been sacked twice. So right now the offensive line has to settle down, have to hold up in the protection area, and then Matt Leinart's got to find a way to get some easy completions.
59 seconds left. First half. A 3-receiver set. Out of the shotgun. Rush coming. Leinart steps up. Leinart looking to run. Cuts it up the middle. And Matt Leinart, with Hali applying on the chase. 4-yard gain.
See, now he sped up his internal clock. He knows that that protection isn't holding up. You see Hali coming, and then he gets out of the pocket, able to elude the pass rush. The rookie trying to make a play.
Probably try to squib it, and he does.
After the scramble by Matt Leinart, it's 4th and a long one. So Arizona will attempt a 41-yard field goal with Neil Rackers. Scott Player to hold it. Rackers, not many attempts this season, the Pro Bowler in 2005. From 41 yards away, Rackers splits the uprights. Set an NFL record last season with 40 field goals. This is just his 5th of this season in the 5th week of the season.
And you know, that scramble by Matt Leinart, it appears to be such a small thing. It was enough to move the ball further down the field to create a manageable field goal for Neil Rackers. So you see the mobility of Leinart really starting to affect the play of the offense for Arizona.
And the Cardinals up by 7 tomorrow. How I Met Your Mother moves to its new time, Mondays at 8, 7 Central. See the show that Entertainment Weekly calls, quote, one of the most entertaining ensembles on television. Don't miss How I Met Your Mother. That's tomorrow at 8, 7 Central, right here on CBS. So the numbers on Leinart, 8 of 13, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Has not made a major mistake. He has absorbed some sacks. And that one rush for 4 yards, as Solomon pointed out, important in that it set up Rackers for a makeable field goal, and Arizona able to add to the lead.
And after the 2 sacks on Matt Leinart, you can see him speeding up his internal clock. He understands that the protection's not holding up. I got to make a play with my legs. So you can see him getting out of the pocket a little bit sooner, trying to speed up the decision-making process.
Neil Rackers to kick it off. Dante Hall, the dangerous return man for Kansas City, waiting. Hall had a 60-yard punt return for a touchdown last week, his first since 2003. Here's Hall, and tripped up. As Hall was able to cross the 25-yard line. He's been dealing with a back injury. That's a 21-yard return. Undefeated teams in the NFL, Chicago Bears now 5-0. Indianapolis improves to 5-0, and Baltimore, that's the unlikely one, 4-0. The Ravens with Steve McNair now running that offense.
We'll see if they can survive a trip to Denver on Monday night, because they're going to have their hands full. The Denver Broncos, very good football team, but you're right, Baltimore playing well also.
37 seconds left, first half. Here's Hewitt. He'll fire and connect with Larry Johnson, and Johnson able to duck out of bounds. Clock stops. 30 seconds remaining in this second quarter. That's a 12-yard gain. Well, Johnson has been an effective receiver so far, more so than his usual role as the go-to back. 8 carries, 25 yards. Receiving 3 catches, 26 yards, and a touchdown.
He told us, he says, I'm used to getting those 8 and 9, 10 yards a carry. But, you know, I have to be more patient, because sometimes it's going to be 2 and 3 yards before we pop the big one.
On first down, here's Hewitt under pressure, and he is sacked. Carlos Dansby. He's been dealing with a toe injury since training camp. A rising star on this defense, and he comes up with a sack.
Yeah, Dansby's going to come right up here. It's pressure right up the middle. And Adrian Wilson, you see him lined up on the right side, but they're able to confuse the blocking scheme. Dansby takes the open and goes right to the quarterback for the sack.
Heward to Hall, and he is stuffed. And Trell roll, and that's how the first half will end. 17-10, Cardinals lead it. Getting ready for the start of the third quarter. Arizona 17, Kansas City 10, back at University of Phoenix Stadium. Hi, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Solomon Wilcots. This game got off to the quick start with Matt Leinart. A lot of energy in the building, but it looked like Kansas City was able to settle down defensively, make some adjustments. Got ourselves a ball game here at the half.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it really is about the mistakes and miscues. 2 Larry Johnson fumbles have led to 10 points for the Arizona Cardinals. You have to give Matt Leinart a lot of credit, been able to take advantage of it. And then the Chiefs, they got a block punt and scored 7 of their 10 points. So really it's come down to the fact that both quarterbacks have been able to manage the offense. Matt Leinart's been very effective, so has Damon Heward. Neither team has been able to run the ball effectively, so it's going to be imperative in the second half that both quarterbacks don't turn it over and really just allow yourself to manage the offense, try to make some plays on third down.
It is the 10th all-time meeting between these two teams. Kansas City leads the all-time series with a mark of 6-2-1. Chiefs came in allowing just 121.7 passing yards per game in that first half. Leinart 8 for 13, 102 yards. Just about all of his damage, though, done in the first quarter. Chiefs will have the ball to start this second half. Dante Hall. And Hall spins down. He just hasn't looked right. And Hall now on his back. Calvin Pace with a special team stick.
Now he's a big loss. And you hope that Dante Hall's okay, but he's not only effective returning kicks, but punt return also, but he's also been very effective as a wide receiver. Let's watch and see if we can determine how he was injured on the play.
Took a shot to the back and still on the ground.
Okay, people, let's gather around. Gather around if you would, please. Let's bring it in and listen up.
Yeah, let's powwow.
This is Team Communication Week. I want you to think about what that means. You do your job, so I can do my job.
There's an exciting sound in travel. Southwest Airlines Ding. Get exclusive low fares sent directly to your desktop. Deals that are only available.
Trainer's table. And Hall couldn't even walk on his own. Had to have the help of 2 men to get him to the sideline. First down for Kansas City. On a handoff for Larry Johnson. Johnson loses his helmet. And he picks up 3.5 on first down. Huff and Clancy there to bring him down.
Larry Johnson has said he felt like a marked man facing 8, 9-man fronts. But you see, never secure the handoff from Damon Heward. This one he does get to the second level, but doesn't secure the football all the way to the ground. Those 2 fumbles by Larry Johnson has led to 10 of the 14 points for the Arizona Cardinals.
Call it a 2nd and 7. We are underway here in the second half. Ronnie Cruz in front of Johnson. Fake the handoff. Heward steps up. Good protection. Throws the long ball down the sideline. And it's incomplete. Kennison matched up with Green on that left side. It brings up 3rd and 7.
Well, Green did an excellent job of staying deep and staying on top of the route by Kennison. See, Kennison does the double move, but Green doesn't bite on it. See, he stays on top. An excellent position to make a play. Don't allow the receiver to get behind you. But he read through the route. Didn't bite on the double move from Eddie Kennison.
Heward now 16 of 20. 109 yards. A touchdown pass to Larry Johnson. On 3rd down. Rush coming. Heward is sacked. Carlos Dansby.
Well, they're going to blitz him. Now it's going to be a corner blitz, and that's why the tackle steps out, allows Dansby to come underneath and get the hit on Damon Heward. Antrell Roll, the left corner for Arizona, he also blitzed on the play, and the right tackle, Kevin Sampson, had to turn out and block him.
Dustin Colquitt just gets off that punt. A high sailing kick. Troy Walters from the 20. Walters able to turn the corner. And Walters hit hard as he crossed the 30-yard line. 62-yard punt. Ronnie Cruz making the play on special teams. An 11-yard return and a 7-point differential in the 3rd. The word on return man extraordinaire Dante Hall, it's a hip pointer, and his return is questionable right now for Kansas City. Arizona up 17-10, 13:37 to go in the 3rd quarter. First time that they've touched the ball in the second half. A 2 tight end set. Leinart bootleg. Look at the room in front of him. Leinart sets, throws, knocked up in the air and incomplete. And a flag down. Brian Johnson in a matchup with Patrick Surtain, the veteran.
Well, we told you they were going to come with some reverse bootlegs and some play action.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 23. Automatic. First down.
The defense is so aggressive coming downhill. Look at everyone swarming to stop Edgerrin James. Leaves this entire side of the field wide open, buys extra time for Matt Leinart. And this is what Edgerrin James wanted more in the offense, taking advantage of the mobility of Matt Leinart.
So a first down now at the 48. Here's James. Hits the corner and scoots out of bounds. Good block by Oliver Ross on that right side, along with backup tight end Fred Wakefield. That's a 10-yard gain.
Well, he said the defense needed some stops. Watch the corner blitz right here by Antrell Roll. That's going to allow Dansby to come underneath the tackle, Kevin Sampson. Now watch Sampson step out to block Antrell Roll, and then there you see Dansby coming in clean to get the sack.
Well designed, and it led to Arizona getting the football back, and they're doing something with it. Edgerrin James using his blocker, and James crossing the 30. Rugged running. Fred Wakefield again involved, the tight end, and it's a 12-yard pickup.
And that's the effectiveness of that bootleg action that you saw from Matt Leinart. Now they're getting the defense to slow down play side. You've seen 2 consecutive run plays for Edgerrin James where they were able to stretch it, seal the corner, and get him to the outside. Now you're getting positive yards in the run game simply because the defense is not as aggressive holding backside for that quarterback to bootleg.
James in the first half, 12 carries, 28 yards. Second half, 2 carries, 23 yards. Again, bootleg. This time, the flip. Obafemi Ayombadejo. And he spilled out inside the 30. No gain. Derek Johnson, the linebacker. He's been impressive. First-round draft pick in 2005. Started all 16 games as a rookie. And has been a standout for Herman Edwards in year 2.
See, on that play, Johnson held backside. He was more patient. So no longer can that backside over-pursue to the ball carrier, Edgerrin James, because they have to be aware of Matt Leinart on the bootleg and hold up backside on play-action pass.
No Larry Fitzgerald. We told you about the hamstring problem earlier. Handoff to James up the gut. And the white jerseys there, including Kavika Mitchell for KC, limited to a 2-yard gain. 3rd and 8.
The more you talk about the mobility of Matt Leinart, I mean, that's what you get from Matt that you don't necessarily get from the veteran quarterback Kurt Warner. And Kurt Warner is an excellent passer of the ball, but nowhere nearly as athletic and mobile as Matt Leinart. So the young rookie quarterback adds a newer dimension than what you get from the veteran.
We talked to Leinart about the possibility. He said he was open to either one, sitting back and learning or playing right away. He didn't know which situation he would find himself in as a rookie. He's playing right now in week 5. Rush. Leinart slings it. And Quan Bolden is forced out of bounds. And Derek Johnson there just to make sure Bolden was unable to turn it upfield.
Well, they did an excellent job of just staying deep in that secondary, then swarming after the ball was thrown. Did have some pressure, as you said, on Matt Leinart. Leinert's doing a better job of not taking sacks after being sacked twice earlier in the ball game, understanding that he can't hold on to it. Edgerrin James told him, he said, it's simple, that you have to be able to either find me on the check down, you either tuck it and run it, or learn to get rid of the football. If you do those 3 things, you'll stay alive.
45-yard field goal attempt for Neil Rackers. Arizona up by 7, can add to it here. Player to hold. From 45 yards away, Rackers bangs it through. Cardinals in front, 20-10 here in the 3rd quarter. We'll step aside. Matt Leinart in his NFL starting debut. He's got the lead over KC. 6 plays, 42 yards. Took up 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Culminating in a 45-yard Neil Rackers field goal. Well, with Dante Hall on the sideline with that hip pointer, Jeff Webb steps in. He's the rookie out of San Diego State, 6th-round draft pick. And Webb will return from the 1. Long strides for Webb. Webb breaking a tackle out near midfield as Rackers got him down low. Jeff Webb out of La Quinta, California. San Diego State 6th-round pick.
Where do they find these guys, he said, because Dante Hall, he goes out. We know how good he is, but look at Webb. He hits the hole with wonderful aggression and speed, and only Neil Rackers can trip him up before he returns it for a touchdown. But excellent field position right now for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they have to take advantage of it.
That is the first time that Jeff Webb has touched the football in the NFL. Out near midfield, it is at the 49. Handoff, Johnson looking for some blocking, and flags go down. He had Gonzalez in front of him. Gerald Hayes able to wrap him up.
Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And that's Jordan Black filling in for the injured Kyle Turley. Time for an NFL Today update. We go to New York. JP.
Ian and Solomon. Alex Smith, quarterback for San Francisco. Confidence-boosting play today. His 2nd touchdown toss that to Arnaz Battle, his second reception of the day. A 6-yarder, 14-13 San Fran on top of Oakland. Ian and Solomon.
JB, how about the difference that Norv Turner has made in young Alex Smith's young career?
I think it's a good thing to see the way these young quarterbacks are starting to mature.
Heward over the middle to Johnson. And that's a 3-yard gain. Carlos Dansby shadowing Johnson on the play. It'll set up 2nd and 17 for Kansas City.
We talked about the problems that Kansas City has had in the first half. They really shot themselves in the foot with 2 turnovers, and if they can just get some rhythm going on offense, protect the football for Herm Edwards. He said we cannot turn the ball over on the road and still win today.
Chiefs trail 20-10. Under 9 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Here's Heward straight back. Releases to Johnson. Nice juke move, but could not get past Dansby. And coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes. Who's getting stopped by airport security these days? A lot of people, all because of their names. Is your name on the list? Plus, the 2 women at the center of the Hewlett-Packard story, only on 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Cold Case, and Without a Trace. That's tonight on CBS. Again, this season, America's most watched network. Tony Gonzalez has been a non-factor so far. He's been shut out. Pump fake. Heward again. Johnson, and he drops the football. It would have taken a lot of work for Johnson to get a first down, but could not bring it in cleanly.
He simply tried to run before he was able to secure the football. It's a catch he definitely should make. And we've seen him break tackles already and power it into the end zone. Had a good chance to maybe make a tackler miss there and pick up a first down.
And that drive was a complete waste of a 50-yard kick return. Now Dustin Colquitt will punt it. Troy Walters standing at the 10 for Arizona. Colquitt. High sailing kick. Walters will let this one bounce. It got stood up and finally gets to the end zone. Colquitt nearly had Arizona pinned deep. 57-yard punt, a net of 37. 20-10 Arizona.
I love costume parties. Hello, Roman. Stuff.
Back here in Glendale, Arizona, 20-10. Cardinals leading the Kansas City Chiefs. Arizona trying to avoid a 1-4 start and a 4th consecutive loss after beating San Francisco in the season opener 34-27. Hand off to Edgerrin James, and James gains 2. Ron Edwards there on the defensive line for Kansas City to make the stop.
Running the ball is really important. Edgerrin James looking for his first 100-yard rushing game this season. For the first time in his career, he failed to top 100 yards rushing in his first 4 games. So he really wants it today, and I think they have an excellent game plan. Very well-balanced offense by the Cardinals today.
They have not had a 100-yard rusher since Emmitt Smith in October of 2004. That's 30 straight games without topping 100 yards on the ground for an individual. On the throw, Anquan Bolden. And Bolden with that one-arm stab just to haul it in. Such reliable hands, one of the great weapons in the NFL. 102 catches last year, 1,402 yards.
But yet when you talk to people around the league and you ask, well, who's the best pair of wide receivers in the National Football League? Seldom do you hear Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald. I think they are absolutely the best. And you saw that catch by Anquan Bolden. Just sheer talent, both he and Larry Fitzgerald.
But Kansas City not allowing anything downfield. Everything is underneath right now for Arizona. Let's see if Leinart can loosen it up. Leinart again underneath the coverage. Ion by Dejo. And a first down. He lost the football. And Tumba Holling with the stick. Arizona able to recover it. Adam Bergen there. 8-yard gain. And they'll move the chains.
Yeah, he's going to find Obafemi Ayanbadejo, and he's going to pick up the first down. You mentioned the fact that Kansas City's not giving up anything. They already did that in the first quarter when Anquan Boldin scored the touchdown. And that's why you see Matt Leinart now taking what the defense is giving him, because there's plenty of room to find an open receiver underneath.
1st and 10. On the handoff, and James is stacked up. No room to work with. Jared Allen, first man there, and a loss of 4 for Edgerrin James. Okay. 20-10, Arizona leading Kansas City. We have under 6 minutes to play in this third quarter. James, 17 carries, 51 yards. Offensive numbers not impressive on either side right now in terms of yardage. The most important number for Arizona, those 2 quick touchdowns to start play in the first quarter. Here's Leinart. They handle the rush. Now the toss to Johnson. Breaks the tackle. And Johnson straight down the middle into Kansas City territory. Brought down at the 45. Sammy Knight with the stop as we head to New York and check in with JB.
Ian and Solomon, who upset the Jaguars after a Chad Pennington pick. Byron Leftwich to Reggie Williams, a 16-yard bullet. It's a spanking by the Jaguars, 21 points off of turnovers, 38-0 back to Ian and Solomon.
A battle of the Marshall quarterbacks, and this one will belong to Leftwich. Edgerrin James. Look how many white jerseys are in the area to deal with edge. 1-yard gain for James.
And we said it was going to be important for the wide receivers for Arizona to create yards after the catch. And Herm Edwards even talked about it. He said, we got to tackle these receivers. You saw that third down play by Bryant Johnson, able to break loose and create a huge gain for the offense. He's filling in for Larry Fitzgerald, but he's a former first-round pick in his own right and very talented.
They're playing shorthanded right now without Fitzgerald, that right hamstring injury. This is a 2nd and 9. And James, very tough to move the football on the ground for Arizona. Kendrell Bell, first time we've said his name here today.
No one had expected this secondary to give up big plays because they have such a veteran presence. Look at the interceptions, the career totals for all 4 of the starters in that secondary for the Kansas City Chiefs. 145 career interceptions combined for all 4 guys. By far the most in the National Football League. So you really don't expect them to come into this game and give up big-time pass plays.
3rd and 9. 3:28 to go in the third. There was movement there on the left side. Leonard Davis, big number 75, the converted guard.
Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
First penalty of the afternoon for Arizona.
But a big enough penalty where it can really cause you to come to a stall on this drive. Right now, Dennis Green has this offense moving. And I think we heard somewhere that he was going to be calling some plays today.
Yeah, there were some rumors swirling about that Green was going to be more involved in the play calling. His 13th year as a head coach in the NFL. Here's Leinart. Sensing the heat. Leinart steps up. Throwing the deep ball. Looking for it all. Dropped in the end zone by Johnson. Lenny Walls, who gave up the touchdown earlier to Anquan Boldin with the coverage, and he was beat on the play.
And Matt Leinart nearly had his 3rd touchdown pass on the day. Credit Brian Johnson for making an adjustment on the ball, because Leinart puts this ball on the money. Now Johnson makes the adjustment, but then he drops the ball. That's right in the basket. You have to ask, was he interfered with by Lenny Walls? I'm sure there was some contact, but Johnson's got to make that catch.
So instead of building the lead, they're forced to punt. Eddie Kennison now the return man, filling in for Dante Hall. Scott Player the punter. And this one will take a roll for the touchback. 49-yard punt, but a net of 29. And Kansas City gets it back at their own 20. Arizona's got a 10-point advantage.
dress golf. One big life, 4 ways to dress it.
Go, boy, go!
Rick Wilcoxon is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell a story, we hired an actor.
Originally, I switched to Geico to save money, but then I was in an accident.
Yeah, that's right. I was in an accident.
I got on the phone and called Geico.
Yeah. Hello. Hey, how's it going?
After a few days, I had my repair check. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I got the check. Got my car fixed. It's my birthday. Fixed my bumper. New taillights.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
It's my birthday.
And he said, look, pretty simple. Terminology and speed. I could see that even last week. The athletes up front are scary good, and he's gotten a taste of that from Kansas City. But Leinart has looked very sharp in his NFL starting debut. Damon Heward just trying to get rid of it after Bertrand Berry applied that pressure on Heward. On the season, Kansas City really not the kind of numbers they're accustomed to, with Trent Green in a spectator role and Damon Heward now under center. But Herman Edwards told us, Solomon, he's trying to change the mindset in Kansas City, that you just don't have to go out and outscore everyone.
Yeah, they have to be able to power it with the running game. But right now, Larry Johnson only 28 yards rushing on the day. He's coming off back-to-back games with over 100 yards rushing. So you have to give a lot of credit to the Cardinals' run defense.
And now D. Brown is in there in the backfield. Heward's pass knocked down. Chris Cooper, in his 5th year out of Nebraska, Omaha, makes the play.
Well, this is what happens when you force a team to become one-dimensional. You get down on the scoreboard, you have to put the ball up in the air. Now you can get pressure in the face of the quarterback, and when it's time to throw, get a hand up. Even though you're plastered to a blocker, you can still knock the ball down.
No Larry Johnson right now for KC. A double tight end set. We mentioned earlier Tony Gonzalez yet to catch a pass today. On a 3rd and 10. Heward, deep drop, steps up, throws. There's Gonzalez. Nearly lost it. Stays on his feet. And a first down for Kansas City at the 44-yard line.
What a play by Gonzalez. You mentioned it. They had to get it to him, and he took a shot by Robert Griffith. Nearly dislodged the ball because that ball nearly came out. Watch him going right over the middle, and they'll drop it over the linebackers, but before the safeties can arrive, you see that strike there, but he's able to regain possession of the football. It's just some tremendous concentration by Tony Gonzalez. Takes the hit, regains possession of the ball, and is still running with it.
It was Francisco that got the hit initially, and then Griffith coming in on that second wave, and Griffith forced to the sideline after taking the brunt of that hit. On first down, Johnson back in there. Johnson breaks a tackle. But the Cardinals swarm. Aaron Francisco on the spot, limiting Johnson to a half a yard, maybe no gain. They put it right at the 45, so no gain on the play.
Yeah, right now the Cardinals playing very aggressive. See, right now they can even blitz on run plays because they know they can be aggressive, and of course on the back end you have to be careful.
It's a defense also, Solomon, that gave up 262 yards rushing to Atlanta last week. They couldn't stop anybody. Heward throwing complete. Rod Gardner, the veteran, signed as a free agent, getting in on the act with Dante Hall nursing the hip pointer.
Now watch they blitz again. See, come right up the middle, but then they missed the tackle that time on Damon Heward. If you make that tackle, you end up with a sack as opposed to a completion for a first down for Kansas City.
So Gardner getting in on the act. Hall still in some obvious pain along the sideline for KC. Arizona playing without their Pro Bowl wide receiver, Larry Fitzgerald, a hamstring injury. Gardner, that's a play normally that would go to Dante Hall. And Gardner working the sideline, 3-yard gain. Roll cuts him down low to make the stop. Let's call it a 4-yard pickup.
Most teams use that wide receiver smoke pass play more like a running down. What we want to do is just flip it over to the wide receiver, hope that he can break a tackle and create They saw a very nice second down situation. I think they gained, what, 4 yards on the play, so it's just as good as a run play on first down.
On second down and 6. Play fake. Hewitt throws incomplete. It was low, and Gardner took a shot from roll. It'll set up third down with 15 seconds to play in the third.
Nice timing on the play by Antrell Rowe. Watch number 21 at the bottom of your screen. He breaks on this pass till you get there as the ball arrived and able to dislodge that ball. And boy, was it a violent collision from Antrell Rowe.
He's a tough physical corner. Knee injury cost him most of his rookie campaign, limited to 5 games. First-round pick out of Miami in 2005. D. Brown is in the backfield. On a 3rd and 6. Hewitt in the pocket, throwing sideline, almost intercepted by Griffin. Eddie Kennison, the intended target, and the Arizona defense has held.
Excellent break on the ball by Robert Griffin. 7 route by Kennison. Ball thrown behind Kennison just a bit, and it allows Griffin to get there in time to break up the pass.
Kansas City in a bit of no man's land. They needed some yardage to attempt a legitimate field goal. Instead, they're forced to punt it. Dustin Colquitt will try to place it inside the 10. He won't. He's coming back to the 20. That's a 38-yard punt and a net of just 18 with 2 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Well, around the NFL, you still have some teams
looked pretty good at times today, but leave it up to the old veteran Drew Brees to lead his team back.
Come from behind victory for the Saints to keep the Buccaneers winless. Final play of the third quarter, and it's James churning the legs and out near the 30-yard line for an 8-yard gain. That's how the third quarter will close. We head to the fourth. Arizona looking to hold on against KC.
Wow!
Show them you're tougher than the rest.
I think my daughter's gonna be like,
It's an extra long Philly cheesesteak as opposed to a long Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, extra long's a little bit longer than long.
No, I figured that, but like, is there some sort of...
So this is long.
Yeah.
Boom. This is extra long. Boom. You know, I've measured a lot of things. All right? Like, your head is too big. Yeah,
why?
Too big. This would be big.
Yeah.
That's too big.
Extra long Philly cheesesteak. Sonic's got it, others don't. The great...
The 10 lead on the Kansas City Chiefs. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcots, and our entire CBS crew. It's a 2nd and 1 for the Cardinals. First play of this fourth quarter. Edwin James puts the helmet down and tries to accelerate for the first down. Jarrett Page slipping through. Coming up, time permitting. After the game, it's the Subway postgame show. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer have all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up. It's the Subway postgame show, guaranteed to be entertaining for you. 3rd and inches. James did not quite get it on that 2nd down run. Look for Leinart to hand it off to James again. And he doesn't get there. On a 2nd and 1, 2 cracks at 1 yard, and James unable to get to the marker. They'll punt it as we head to New York and check in with JB.
Ian and Solomon. Alex Smith, quarterback with the 49ers, came into today with 3 touchdowns on the season. He's got 3 today. This one to Maurice Hicks, 33 yards to pay dirt. It's the 49ers on top, 21-13, late in the third. Back to Ian and Solomon.
Battle of the Bay right now being controlled by the 49ers. We'll keep you updated there. Eddie Kennison stepping in for Dante Hall, and that one bounces out of bounds. Kansas City will have it. Frustration for Arizona on the ground. 20-10, Arizona leading Kansas City. Larry Johnson, who carries the load for this team, an excellent inside runner, went to the Pro Bowl in 2005, an elite running back. But today, they've had his number. 10 carries, 28 yards as Johnson plunges forward. Darnell Dock at the stop.
Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals have been very aggressive on defense, blitzing both the run and the pass, keeping Larry Johnson hemmed in, even when he catches the ball coming out of the backfield. Then on the back end, making plays in the secondary. Robert Griffin and Trail Roll being very aggressive on both the front and back end of the defense. Clancy Pendergast doing an excellent job calling a game for Arizona. Defense playing very well today.
2nd and 6 after the 4-yard run by Johnson. 13 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Fake the handoff. Hewitt, plenty of time. He guns over the middle. Eddie Kennison on a curl after the catch. And into Arizona territory at the 45-yard line. That's a 17-yard hookup.
Oh, the protection held up, and Damon Hewitt had to double pump it even for a 3rd time. And then look how Kennison works the coverage. Trying to get behind the linebackers and found an open space behind Orlando Huff and gave the quarterback Damon Hewitt a window to complete that pass.
Hewitt telling us that he could feel that his teammates are more comfortable with him, getting used to his cadence and his timing. Handoff, and Johnson inside for 2 yards. Chike O'Keefer making that stop for Arizona.
And right now, Kansas City is trying to get Larry Johnson going. Trying to get him going downhill. No more of the stretch run plays. They're going right over the top of the center, trying to keep those shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. Allow him to use his power and run behind the center and the 2 guards on the offensive line for the Chiefs.
Hewitt sends Parker in motion on a 2nd and 8. Hewitt flips to Cruz, and Ronnie Cruz breaks a tackle. 2nd time today he has created something after the catch. Orlando Huff on the whiff, and Roll has to finish him off.
Well, watch Cruz, because Cruz is the fullback, sneaks out, chips at O'Keefer, makes the catch. Now watch this hit by the corner, and Roll. Woo! I gotta like it. I like that.
Former defensive back always likes that. He's known as a strong tackler. Roll out of Homestead, Florida. But for Kansas City, the damage already done. They got the 1st down. Hewitt, fake on the handoff, fake on the end around, and throws to Parker. Inside the 20, it's a 1st down for Kansas City.
And they use the play action fake, not just on the run play, but on the reverse to Parker. And then they're able to find some time for Hewitt to complete that pass down the football field. So right now, I think they're mixing up the plays very well on offense for Kansas City.
Mike Solari, his 1st year as an offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs trying to rally here in the 4th quarter. They're down by 10. Play action again. Hewitt is sacked. And a flag thrown. Chris Cooper among those Cardinals getting penetration. And Adrian Wilson once again applying heat from that safety spot. Let's see what the penalty is.
Illegal contact, defense, number 54. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
The sack negated. Gerald Hayes, illegal contact. 2nd penalty today against Arizona.
It was really good pressure on Damon Hewitt. Didn't have time to throw the ball, and it's the penalties that's giving 2nd chances to the offense for Kansas City. Now let's see if they'll take a shot inside the red zone. Talked about how they like to get it to Tony Gonzalez.
KC has to work quickly here. They didn't get Hewitt the play in a quick manner. Hewitt handoff, and Johnson is stuffed. 4 red jerseys. And O'Keefer leading that charge. It's a loss of 2. Now Tony Gonzalez is trying to get himself into the Chiefs record books. Otis Taylor is the man that sits atop along with Gonzalez for career touchdowns in franchise history. But Tony has not been a big factor here today. Pump, Heward throwing. Parker's got it. Touchdown, Kansas City. And a flag on the play. Parker against Robert Tate. There was contact in the corner. We're taking a look at the replay on the big screen as the players turn around. And the officials will sort it out. Herman Edwards wants confirmation. One-on-one coverage. Sammy Parker against the veteran.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 26. Foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Well, wait a second. Herman Edwards wants to know why doesn't the catch hold for the touchdown?
Oh, watch. There's the contact there. Well, let's see if there was a catch made in the end zone.
It's ruled incomplete. That's what. Was he out of bounds is the question. There's one. Oh, he was inbounds.
Looked like he was able to drag that back foot. And Herman Edwards may want to challenge it.
Yeah, they will.
Okay, there's the catch. Ball secured, and he dragged the back foot. I think he had 2 in for the touchdown.
That's 6 points on the board. Once they take a look at it, it was ruled incomplete on the field. They were focused on the pass interference and may have lost sight of whether or not Parker brought it in. In our eyes, he did.
The receiver controlled the pass, got 2 feet down. It is a touchdown. Kansas City is not charged with a team timeout. The pass interference penalty is declined.
So Herman Edwards with the challenge, and it pays off. The touchdown now stands for Kansas City.
Well, Sammy Parker did an excellent job not only making the catch. See that left foot in, but he drags the right foot, constitutes 2 feet being in bounds for a touchdown.
A 7-play, 66-yard drive for Kansas City. That was after they were able to stop Arizona on a 2nd and 1, then a 3rd and inches. Back-to-back running plays to Edgerrin James. Cardinals unable to get the first down. They punt it, and Kansas City comes down the field to tighten this one up. Lawrence Tynes on for the extra point. Colquitt to hold it. And it's 20-17. Cardinals. 9:35 left in Arizona. More fourth quarter action coming up.
Coach, wouldn't you like to lose that suit and tie and crack open a cold Coors Light?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Yes.
I mean, we all think Coors Light is totally refreshing. Yeah. Yeah.
I think a number of people are beginning to come to that conclusion.
So why drink any other beer?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Taste the cold of Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Coach, a little help with these empties? Oh, sorry.
I certainly haven't come here to, to clean house.
Why would you go and fry green beans? What's next? Holding air hostage?
She's not ready.
18-yard touchdown reception, Sammy Parker. Heward on the drive was 4 for 4 overall. Now 25 of 34, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns for the veteran Damon Heward. His dad came in from the Seattle area to attend this game today in Glendale, Arizona. This is a 3-point differential. J.J. Arrington on the return. Down the sideline, and Arrington angled out of bounds by Jeff Webb on special teams. It's a 35-yard return. We are in the fourth in Arizona in a tight one.
Saturday date.
Back in Arizona, we talked to Matt Leinart, asked him, what do you remember about your first collegiate start? He said, it was at Auburn, tough environment. We shut out the Tigers, top-ranked team in the country. He remembered so many details from the game. He said he just managed the game. He didn't play outside himself. He's trying to win his first start in the NFL today. Over the middle, Edgerrin James, and a first down. Lost the football. Kansas City says they've got it. It was whistled dead. And Arizona maintains possession, a 14-yard gain.
Oh, this is what Edgerrin James talked about. He said, I told Matt Leinart, hey, when it all goes wrong, you just find me. I'm your check down. You either tuck it, run it, get rid of it, or just find me. And you see him looking down the field, and as the pocket collapses on him, he hits his check down. He gets the ball to Edgerrin James, who creates some yards after the catch. That ball was stripped out after he was on the ground.
First down at the 50. Leinart to throw again. Zings to the sideline and incomplete. Brian Johnson, the intended receiver, out on the perimeter. Coming up, time permitting, after the game, the Subway postgame show. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer for the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Matt Leinart, when we asked him about his first high school start, was able to rip off details, exactly what happened for Mater Dei High School. He said they played their rival, Servite, his junior year of high school, as Johnson brings it in cleanly, short of a first down. And it just goes to show you, Leinart, extremely bright, intelligent, and he's been through this before. This isn't too big for him to start in the NFL after what he went through at USC.
And you know, it's the same way when we talk to guys like Peyton Manning and Carson Palmer. Quarterback's ability to retain information is vitally important to his ability to be successful in the National Football League.
He won that high school game 39-25, his first start. He won his first collegiate start over Auburn, and trying to do the same here. Leinart over the middle and short of a first down. Brian Johnson needed a little bit more than 1 yard or a yard and a half, and Sammy Knight made sure he wasn't going to get it.
Well, this is a big-time play by Sammy Knight, because the offense did everything they were supposed to do. You're going to blitz Matt Leinart, so he understands he's got to check to his hot receiver. Three-step drop, you hit Brian Johnson. Bryant makes the catch. But guess what? Sammy Knight is well in tune to what the offense is doing, understanding I've got to make the tackle and cannot allow yards after the catch, and you force him to punt the football.
Huge stop for Kansas City as player is able to get rid of the punt. And into the end zone. Neither punter has been able to place it inside the 10. A 42-yard punt, a net of 22. Time for us to get an NFL Today update with JB.
Good battle going on in Philadelphia. Take a look. Ian and Solomon, Donovan McNabb and his team trailing 21-17 goes up top 88 yards, a 6-point basket, if you will, to Hank Basket. 24-21 now in the third. McNabb, his 10th touchdown of the season. Back to Ian and Solomon.
So many storylines there, JB, and the fact that we were able to actually get through that update without mentioning, you know,
yeah, that's right. And they don't have a star-studded receiving core in Philadelphia, but they do have a talented group of guys, not one guy.
On the toss, Johnson, and he gets leveled by Green. Or did Green get leveled by Johnson, depending upon how you look at it?
Someone was leveled.
It's a 2-yard gain. Clock is moving. We will hit the 7-minute mark of this fourth quarter. And a 3-point Arizona lead.
And if Green comes out of the game, then I guess he was the guy who got leveled, because Johnson stays in.
He was the levelee. Johnson the leveler. 2nd and 8. Johnson remains in the backfield. Heward out of the shotgun. Handoff to Johnson. Arizona just is not giving up an inch on the defensive end against the run. Darnell Dock at that time, a 2-yard gain for Johnson.
I think it's so much of a huge key to be able to get to Larry Johnson before he gets going. He's very big, very fast, can accelerate, but he really doesn't have the suddenness and that quick explosion that you get from smaller backs. But if he can get going, boy, is he difficult to stop.
He told us he wasn't intimidated by the idea of them stacking the line of scrimmage. He said they still have to tackle me. Well, today, they've done the job tackling Larry Johnson. Big third down. Ewers steps and throws. It's dropped. Dropped by Parker. And Kansas City forced a punt.
Boy, Damon Heward has had several balls dropped on him today, and this is the second drop by Parker. Excellent throw. Green slips himself over there, and look at that. That ball goes right through the arms of Sammy Parker. We saw him make a tremendous catch in the end zone for a touchdown, but that one was vitally important to sustain this drive. A huge drop on third down.
Dustin Colquitt to punt. Troy Walters standing at his own 27-yard line waiting for Arizona. 6:06 on the clock. Colquitt. High punt, and it's out of bounds. See where they spot the football. It'll be just shy of the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. Early on, Matt Leinart connecting with Anquan Bolden. 49-yard touchdown, a 7-0 Arizona lead. Larry Fitzgerald, the short touchdown, 5 yards, 14-0. Kansas City got a field goal, then added a 9-yard touchdown reception by Larry Johnson. Then field goals for Rackers. Parker, a 15-yard touchdown catch, and that's where we stand. 20-17. Arizona leads at 5:58 to play. Holding penalty on Arizona, so they will back it up. Instead of the 25-yard line, it'll be the 15-yard line. Milford Brown is now sitting for Arizona along that offensive line, and the rookie from USC, Deuce Latui, steps in at right guard. He played in the last series as well. We've got no word on Milford Brown if this is an injury or a coach's decision. 1st and 10 from the 15 for Leinart and the Cardinals, leading by 3. Under 6 minutes left, and flags thrown. This play never gets going.
False start, offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that's the rookie tight end, Leonard Pope, out of Georgia.
So this offense is moving backwards in the opposite direction where Denny Green wants it to go. And this is the most difficult part I think Matt Leinart is going to have to learn. You can play well in the National Football League, but winning games and finish them off in a positive way is just so difficult. And this is where poise and the ability to make plays at clutch moments is very important.
All of their penalties have come in the second half. Leinart throws, intercepted. Ty Law. And the veteran secondary finally gets the best of Matt Leinart here in the 4th quarter.
Now, we told you this is where at clutch moments in the game for a rookie quarterback, you've got to stay poised and you have to be patient. This ball comes out late over to the far corner, and Anquan Bolden said, I can't believe you threw that ball because that guy was in better position to make the catch than I was. And we told you that this starting 4 in the secondary for Kansas City, as you see Ty Law sits on it, he breaks on it. They're very aggressive. They're accustomed to picking off passes. 145 career interceptions for the 4 starting defenders in that Kansas City Chiefs secondary.
Law had 10 picks last year, had a pick last week. The 5-time Pro Bowler looked like the receiver, and Bolden looked like the corner. Handoff to Johnson. Let's see what Kansas City can do with this. No gain on the play. Already in field goal range. And now it's just a matter of seeing whether or not the Chiefs can grab the lead here in the 4th.
And we've talked about this, Ian, over the last day or so. The Arizona Cardinals, here they have this beautiful stadium. They've got a good coach in Denny Green. Went out, spent the money, brought in Edgerrin James, prolific weapons on offense. They have everything they need to become a winner. It's about effort and execution on game day.
On 2nd down, Hewitt steps. Hewitt throws, knocked away. Right at the last moment, Adrian Wilson stepping in front of Tony Gonzalez.
He is by far the most underrated safety in the National Football League. We've seen him blitz the quarterback. We've seen him make tackles in this play in the open field. To be able to play the ball in the air. Watch how he times that up without committing the pass interference penalty. He's able to break that ball up and keep Tony Gonzalez from making the catch.
3rd and 10 and a timeout. Arizona takes the timeout, stops the clock with 5:13 left. Cardinals clinging to a 3-point lead. Arizona 22-yard line after the interception from Ty Law, the first major mistake we've seen from Matt Leinart in his NFL starting debut. Larry Johnson has been limited to 36 yards on the ground. 3rd and 10 for Hewitt. Rifles dropped by Kennison. And it would have been a first down as Kennison spills out. It's 4th down for Kansas City.
Kennison gets dropped over on that sideline, but Damon Hewitt very frustrated. You know, he said, I'm doing all I can. I'm throwing BBs out here, and watch this one. And Kennison's got to make the catch. Veteran receiver to be able to sustain the drive, pick up a first down.
A 40-yard attempt to tie this one up. Lawrence Tynes for Kansas City. From 40 yards away, Tynes, he's got it. We are all knotted up at 20. 5:03 left.
And when you consider where the turnover was made from Ty Law, really put the Chiefs in a position where they could have even had a touchdown. But Herman Edwards happy with that field goal, happy with the ability to tie the game. And you have to give some credit to the Cardinals defense for coming up huge in that sudden change situation. Can't allow a touchdown in that situation.
5:03 remaining. Matt Leinart will get a chance to make up for his mistake as Kansas City will kick it off. Leinart, 39 career starts at USC. He went 37-2. Heisman Trophy in 2004. 2 national championships to his credit. And now a chance with just over 5 minutes on the clock to lead the Cardinals to victory in his first NFL start.
And in normal situations like this, you'd like to be able to turn the game over to your star in the backfield like Edgerrin James. But it's clear the Cardinals aren't running the football very well. This game will come down to Matt Leinart being able to make plays.
Kickoff from Tynes. Here's Arrington for Arizona. Arrington on a little stutter step, and he comes up short of the 30-yard line. It's a 26-yard return. Bernard Pollard, who had that block punt earlier in the day, making that stop on special teams. So 4:56 left, and Matt Leinart will try to lead this Arizona offense down the field and to a W.
Yeah, and you know they're going to come after your rookie quarterback. You're going to get some blitzes, but that's where you have to be poised. And I think you look for the one-on-one matchups, preferably trying to get the ball to Anquan Boldin.
Leinart, 35 tickets for this game. Family and friends in attendance. Handoff, Edgerrin James shifting forward out across the 30 for a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, you get the fake reverse action to Anquan Boldin, just trying to slow this defense up enough to create a seam for Edgerrin James to get to the second level, and maybe he can pop the big one.
Chiefs have not allowed a second-half touchdown this season. Nickel package for Kansas City defensively. A 3-receiver set. Remember, no Larry Fitzgerald for Arizona. Handoff. And Edgerrin James fighting. Trying to get that first down. He got 7 yards. It will all depend on the spot to see if they move the chains.
Well, see, they're going to run over here to this side, and that's because you have no linebacker over in this area. So they're running toward the bubble, and that's where you get some room to run the football. You talk about the nickel package being in. They're forced to take a linebacker out, bring in an extra safety, so they're finding some room to run the football.
It is a first down for the Cardinals. 1st and 10. At the 38-yard line, under 4 minutes to play in a tie game. Leinart, long count, short drop. Leinart flushed out of the pocket, sending his receiver downfield, throws, complete. Brian Johnson. Matt Leinart with a 21-yard hookup to Johnson.
And it's all Matt Leinart because the play breaks down. See, 3-step drop. He doesn't get rid of it, but see the mobility? He can extend the play with his ability to get out of the pocket, buy more time for Brian Johnson to adjust his route and get open. And this is just an excellent play by Matt Leinart. The initial play call in the huddle, it broke down, and then he was able to improvise to create a positive game.
Cardinals are at the Kansas City 41. Running play to James, and the Chiefs suffocating defense. Jared Allen with a flag down.
Holding offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And that is Leonard Davis. 6th year from Texas, former #2 overall pick in 2001. And the former right guard who took over at left tackle beginning in the 04 season.
Yeah, he broke into this league as a right guard. I think it's his natural position. He's a big guy and played very well. He's struggling. He's a big guy over at that left tackle position. Playing against speed guys like Jared Allen can really cause you fits.
So Arizona back in their own territory. Leinart, bootleg action again. Leinart sets his feet and throws. Complete. Anquan Boldin. Leinart looking confident, and that's a 15-yard pass play.
And this is something that Kansas City's just not used to. This is a reverse bootleg rollout. It's a comeback route by Anquan Boldin. Yeah, a little push on Patrick Surtain, and that ball comes over, delivering a strike from Matt Leinart over to Anquan Boldin.
So it sets up a 2nd and 5. 3:18 left in the 4th. Will Rackers get an opportunity to put Arizona in front? Fake the handoff. Leinart. Pressure coming. Leinart avoids it. Leinart takes the sack. And a rookie mistake. Kendrell Bell. After Jared Allen slowed down Leinart, it was Bell who finished him off.
Well, they knew this was coming because you saw the move by Jared Allen. He shot the gap, and then Kendrell Bell came on to see he'll shoot here, but the linebacker will come outside to try to contain it. Now watch the play by Jared Allen. See, he comes underneath the tackle, and then you see Kendrell Bell coming over for that containment and able to make the play on Matt Leinart. Excellent play design on the defense by Kansas City.
3rd and 13. Leinart from the 44-yard line, operating out of the gun. Leinart steps, throws, sideline. Oh, Boldin! It's ruled incomplete. Greg Wesley with the hit. Anquan Boldin this close to a 1st down catch.
Anquan Boldin is 6'1", 225 pounds. He's a big receiver. And the fact that he goes up, he knows he's going to get hit, but he extends himself, goes up for that ball, and nearly held on to it. He takes a lick from Greg Wesley, but look at that. And credit Wesley for getting a hand in there. Watch the left hand of Wesley actually prying that ball out, even after delivering that lick on Anquan Boldin.
So the Chiefs defense has done the job. Arizona forced a punt. Eddie Kennison. Dante Hall. Kennison brings it in cleanly and picks up a few yards on the return. And the ball goes over to the Kansas City offense with 2:31 left. And the veteran Damon Huard will try to give the Chiefs a road victory.
Oh, with 2:31 left, you know, Damon Huard saying, guys, if you just hold on to the football, we can move the ball and we can sustain drives and we can end up either with a field goal or a winning touchdown, because I think Damon Huard's played very well. Should have a higher completion percentage if his receivers were more reliable.
The numbers on Huard: 25 of 37, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He'll deploy a 4-receiver set on 1st down from the 13. Here's Huard. Set it up for Johnson. Larry Johnson breaks the tackle. Down the sideline. Larry Johnson trying to cut it back. Here's Johnson staying in bounds and finally brought down by Antrell Roll, and a flag thrown. Johnson is spilled out as Roll made a desperate attempt to bring him down before he hit pay dirt.
Oh, that's just an incredible play. It's a screen play to Johnson. It appeared to be contained.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
Now watch, this is going to be a screen play. It's going to come out here, and you got defenders. You got to get guys over to make the tackle. But after he breaks through that initial wall, let's watch and see how many guys are hustling to get to the ball. See, once he gets outside, see, now you got guys who are not really pursuing the ball on that backside. he does finish off the run real strong, and this is where you get the penalty in the face mask. It could have really injured Larry Johnson. See, once he gets outside of Adrian Wilson or comes underneath, Adrian Wilson saying it's a hold, but they lacked total, complete pursuit on the football. And the penalty is going to be on Antrell Roll.
It is the longest reception of Larry Johnson's career. Antrell Roll trying to make the play and grabs onto the face mask, twists it as Johnson goes down in a heap. Sammy Parker was supplying that block on Roll and frustrating him. And it was a reach by Roll that sent Johnson down to the turf.
Boy, you can only hope that he's okay. And what an excellent run by Larry Johnson. We told you if they stay with him, he would pop one. And once he gets going, he's hard to stop.
2:15 left to play. We have hit a standstill here in Arizona. The concern right now is for the Pro Bowler Larry Johnson. 79-yard pass play with Johnson doing all of the work. And they're going to turn him over onto his back.
So many are concerned for Larry Johnson, even Cardinals fans, understanding that that run could cost them the ball game. But right now, their chief concern is for Larry Johnson.
Medical staff over with Larry Johnson. We just saw his legs moving. And now we're getting a reaction from the crowd. As you see that left leg, he's able to put his knee up. He still had his helmet on. Now the right leg is moving as well. And a good sign here for the man they call LJ. They'll help him up. At least sit him up. Fans chanting Larry as he comes to his feet. Gets a hand from this crowd. Larry Johnson has put the Kansas City Chiefs in a position to pull off this win. 2:15 left. Still plenty of time.
Well, I think they set the play up very well. It's a screen play over on the left side. You see Antrell Roll reaching around and grabbing that face mask. You see that head turn on the shoulders of Larry Johnson. He's a big, strong guy. Well, I tell you, most of us wouldn't be able to get up from that one.
Now remember, their backup running back is Michael Bennett, and Bennett is out because of a lingering hamstring injury. So D. Brown, a journeyman in his 4th year from Syracuse, who has played for Carolina, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland, will now step in for Larry Johnson. This is a 1st and goal from the 4. Chiefs looking for the lead. Handoff. Brown pushing the pile. And he picks up a couple. Clock is going to roll down and hit the 2-minute warning. Arizona still has 2 timeouts to play with. All tied up at 20 with 2 minutes to play in Glendale.
Who's faster? Sprint
Minutes. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Kansas City Chiefs and the Arizona Cardinals, Ian Eagle along with Solomon Wilcots, all tied up at 20. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. 2nd and goal from the 2. Chiefs with a chance to go in front. Handoff. It's Brown and driven backwards.
There's a scrum. They're saying the ball is loose.
Now D. Brown's got it. So Arizona made the stop. with 1:51 to go here in the fourth.
And D. Brown has to understand that ball security is number one. See Carl Peterson checking up on Larry Johnson, making sure he's okay.
They are icing the back of his neck. Arizona has just used the timeout to stop the clock.
And Ian, what did Herman Edwards tell us? He said, look, we are a team in transition. You know, we can't get into shootouts because when we go on the road, we have to learn to dominate time of possession. We have to win on defense, and we have to be able to run the football. He said, we have to get used to winning like this. They're used to scoring so many points over the last 3 years. He said, but this is the way that they have to learn to win football games.
Would you pass here, Solomon?
I would try play action. They're stacking the box right now. You saw in the two previous plays, it was a complete effort of aggression on the defense by the Arizona Cardinals.
And D. Brown, this time he did lose the football. A backup running back, D. Brown, stepping in for Larry Johnson. Arizona claims they've got it. They will peel off the pile. Still no indication. Oh, what a sequence here. Again, Cardinals are pointing, but no, it will be the Chiefs holding on to it.
Let's see what D. Brown does with the ball. They indeed run the football, and you can see the presence of defenders. See, that ball does come out. And look at so many people. You even see D. Brown reaching for the ball.
Looked like Jason Dunn, the tight end, was able to recover it. Carlos Dansby knocked it free. And Lawrence Tynes will get a shot here.
It's amazing that you would fumble the ball on what appeared to be 2 consecutive plays and still come up with it.
So Tynes on, with a chance to give Kansas City the lead. Arizona has used its final timeout. It is a sprained neck for Larry Johnson. At the end of that 79-yard pass play. Matt Leinart getting ready for Dennis Green. They will get the football back. And Kansas City with a short field goal attempt to take the lead.
And you have to wonder, how will Arizona respond? They've led on the scoreboard for the entire game.
Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Cold Case, and Without a Trace. Tonight on CBS, again this season, America's most watched network. 19-yard field goal attempt. This is a chippy for Lawrence Tynes. Kendall Gammon to snap it. Dustin Colquitt to hold it. Tynes. He nails it. Kansas City takes the lead 23-20 with 1:36 left on the clock. Chiefs have their first lead of the day. And Matt Leinart has a minute and change to work with.
Well, Matt Leinart has to find a way to get his team the lead once again. And the pressure is now on the rookie quarterback. Made plays early in the ball game. They came out swinging, took the training wheels off of Matt Leinart, and he responded by throwing 2 touchdown passes early in the ball game. But it's this mistake here in the fourth quarter, the interception by Ty Law, that really allowed Kansas City to get back in the ball game and ultimately end up taking the lead.
17 of 26, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. And Kansas City will kick it off.
You don't want to be in this situation where your rookie quarterback in his first career start is going to have to drive the length of the field to try to get you a win with 1:36 left on the clock.
Week 5 of his rookie season, Matt Leinart finds himself as the starter of the Arizona Cardinals. And now trying to rally his team. J.J. Arrington decides to take it out. Arrington on a spin move. And Arrington doesn't even get to the 20 with a flag thrown. Jimmy Wilkerson making the play on special teams, and it costs Arizona some time.
During return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 30. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So everything that could have gone wrong other than fumbling the football just went wrong for Arizona. Obafemi Ayunbadejo getting called on it. Now for Neil Rackers to get into an area where he is comfortable, you're talking about around the 37-yard line for Arizona to come down the field.
And that's why the penalty hurts, because it moves you further away from that 37-yard line where Neil Rackers can be so successful. One of the best kickers in the National Football League.
Instead of having it on the 20, it is just shy of the 10 for Arizona. Here's Matt Leinart with 1:28 to go. Leinart incomplete. Now remember, Arizona has no timeouts to work with as they were trying to use the middle of the field. Let's go to New York right now and JB.
Hey, Ian and Solomon, Donovan McNabb may be asking, who needs big-name receivers? Just catch the ball. Flea flicker, Donovan, over 300 yards passing in this game, 40 of them there to Reggie Brown. The Eagles retake the lead 31-24 over the Cowboys, 9:13 left in regulation. Back to Ian and Solomon.
JB, he's off to an MVP-like start. That's how effective Donovan McNabb has been in the early going. Here's Leinart. Underneath the coverage, Edgerrin James. And James able to take it right at the marker. Johnson and Surtain combining. Look at that clock. It's moving. 1:12 and counting. It is a first down for Arizona.
And now they have to start throwing the ball out on the perimeter where you can step out of bounds, considering they're out of timeout.
Shotgun. Leinart. No pressure. And again, it's James, but nowhere close to the sideline. Under a minute left now.
I know you got to take what the defenses give you, but you got to run routes where you're going to get receivers out on the perimeter.
And Leinart forced to spike it just to stop the clock so Arizona can catch their collective breath. 46 seconds remain with the Cardinals down by 3.
That's where the inexperience shows up a little bit. That last pass to Edgerrin James, you got to take a shot down the field and out on the perimeter. Don't want to just dump it off, because there's no way Edgerrin James was going to be able to make it to the sideline.
And they wasted a good 20 to 25 seconds for a 4-yard gain.
They wasted a down as well.
3rd and 6. Shotgun. Leinart steps up. Leinart gets rid of it out near the sideline. This time James will go out of bounds, but now they face a 4th down with 40 seconds left. A 1-yard pickup.
No, clock management, very difficult thing to master in your first career start if you're Matt Leinart. I think he's putting up a good fight. He's played really well today. And now you got to throw the ball down the field. You got to throw it not over the middle of the field if you can help it, but out on the perimeter. Give the receiver a chance to make the catch and get out of bounds.
4th down. This could be your ball game. Leinart steps up. Leinart throws complete to Johnson, but the clock is moving.
Well, they got to move quickly to get back to the line of scrimmage and stop the clock.
It's a 16-yard gain, down to 26-25, and Leinart will snap it with 23 left.
And Kansas City, knowing that they have to throw the ball out on the perimeter, they're covering all the routes going toward the sideline, and they leave the receiver open over the middle of the field. Matt Leinart took advantage of it.
They still need another 25 yards or so for Neil Rackers to get off a clean attempt. Here's Leinart. Guns. Got his man. Troy Walters. Now they have to hurry. 14 seconds left.
Big throw by Matt Leinart.
27-yard completion. 9 seconds left. And Leinart spikes it with 7.
And you have to kick it. 7 seconds is all you're going to get on a play. What a throw by Matt Leinart. And what a play by Troy Walter. He understood that no timeouts left. Get the ball to your center. Everyone had to hustle. Was well organized by the Arizona Cardinals. All 11 offensive players understood the situation.
Neil Rackers went to the Pro Bowl in 2005, set an NFL record with 40 field goals. This is a 51-yard attempt. Looking to tie it up. Scott Player will hold it. From 51 yards away, Rackers off to the right. No good. Kansas City will come out of Arizona with a win.
Wow. We told you he was one of the best in the league. Denny Green even talked to us and said, this is a guy that we expect to be able to make these kicks. And when your rookie quarterback drives the length of the field to give you that opportunity, you got to be able to do it. And we said that Arizona has so much. They've put together so many things that allows Denny Green to be successful. It's about effort and execution at clutch moments in the ball game. You got to believe that Herm Edwards and the Kansas City Chiefs believe they have dodged a bullet.
It has been that kind of season for Arizona. 23-20, KC wins it. Let's go to New York.
All right, fellas, with the game final there, let's take you out to San Francisco. Career best 3-touchdown performance by Alex Smith. Let's join Gus Johnson and Steve Tasker.